Michigan is now considered the 5th most obese state in America. What's to blame? For some, it's complicated. For others, it's simple. We're sitting and eating more than ever. Obesity is now a leading cause of death and costs the country billions in health care. And in our food-driven culture, temptation is constant. We're making choices dozens of times a day. That's why fighting the war on weight is a full-time job. It often begins right here at the grocery store. Decisions about what we're putting into our body, good and bad. Welcome to a special edition of Weight Loss Winners. We want to inform, inspire, and motivate you. We begin with the story of a local pediatrician who suddenly realized he needed to follow his own advice. He's the mild-mannered pediatrician who's doled out plenty of good advice on Fox 2.
I tell parents the first step is the elimination of worthless calories.
So when he stepped on the scale in January, why did Dr. Marcus DeGraw do a double take?
And I was up around 215 pounds, and it's the heaviest I had ever been.
He knew something had to change.
And I finally decided that enough was enough, and I was ready to deal with it.
Deal with it how? With 3 young daughters and a very hectic life, there was only one option. Enlist wife Melissa to be a weight loss buddy and find a simple way to cut calories.
My portions can be huge, so if I'm eating better portions, then that's where I have the best success, because then I'm not cutting out the things that I love.
Let the calorie counting begin. Marcus and Melissa start adding up every bite with the help of a free smartphone calorie counting app called MyFitnessPal. He was shocked by his snack total.
Tortilla chips, for instance, some of those brands, one serving was only 7 chips, and there'd be 200 calories. Wow. And of course, nobody eats 7 chips. You'd eat 30, and all of a sudden you're dealing with 600 calories just for a snack.
You can even just scan a barcode, and the calories will end up right in your daily total. You might think with all the labeling and all the information we have access to, we'd know how many calories we're eating, but we don't.
So when you talk to people and they estimate how many calories they get every day, that they'll probably underestimate calories by as much as 30 to 50%.
Can you think of what your favorite thing to eat is? What is it?
Pizza.
And if we adults are doing a lousy job in understanding how many calories are sneaking into our bodies, imagine the kids.
Parents will frequently say, well, they're in gymnastics, but if they go for an hour a week, they might burn 200 calories. Yeah. And just 4 Oreos, they've ruined that one round of exercise.
From the time this Christmas picture was taken, Marcus is down almost 30 pounds.
Simple changes. I really still have not had a lot of time to exercise. Haven't added that to any significant degree. It was just paying attention to my calories and cutting it down to a better level.
Melissa's down 10 pounds herself. She says tackling the weight together makes it so much easier, although still not fair.
And I'd go, how much did you lose this time, when I'm losing 0.4 pounds and he's down 3?
And that's not Melissa's imagination. Because of testosterone, men do have more muscle mass, so women have to work harder to get the same results. Our next weight loss winner I find particularly remarkable. A 17-year-old kid decides it's time to make a huge change and fight a lifetime of obesity.
I always looked in the mirror and I saw just this big kid, and I always just thought that was who I was always going to be.
So a big kid is exactly what the chubby boy became. From the early days, many believed Jonathan Bauer was destined to be big.
And the pediatrician said, I've never seen a baby this big.
The years added up, and so did Jonathan's weight. He came to love 2 things, food and music. But for the kind-hearted, gentle soul, there were painful, private moments.
I slipped and fell in the snow, and I just remember these 2 guys surrounded me and just laughed and pointed at me saying, oh, look at the fat guy rolling on the ground. And bad thoughts came into my head and I started feeling less than.
I should have never allowed this to get so bad.
Looking back, stay-at-home dad Jeff realizes he indulged both his boys with junk food and fast food, contributing to the problem and creating conflict in the house.
There were times where I was totally irresponsible, and I hope there are other families out there that maybe take a lesson from this.
I was horribly worried. WSOC News Time 3:08. Time for traffic and weather together on the 8th.
As a news anchor on WWJ Radio, Mom Jane was acutely aware of the health risks that come from childhood obesity. Fixing it is not as easy to figure out. As she watched Jonathan grow, she tried to be a healthy role model, but she also knew change would have to start with Jonathan.
You can read all the diet books on the planet, you can go to all the Weight Watchers meetings, but unless you make the decision to do it for yourself, to do it for your family, it's not going to happen.
So, at 305 pounds, the young man about to graduate from high school decides it's time to change course.
17 years old, and he came to me and said, what I want for Christmas, Mom, is a Weight Watchers membership and a leather jacket after I lose the weight. And I said, done.
Since that day, something just clicked in my brain, and I changed for the better and got healthy.
And the transformation begins. Jonathan starts paying attention to everything he eats. It's salads instead of sandwiches, no more fast food. And Weight Watchers support meetings help him realize the mistakes he's made.
I used to drink like 5 or 6 of these each day.
It only takes about 10 months for Jonathan to turn around a problem that plagued him his entire life. Look at the difference.
I've lost around 130 pounds altogether.
That's amazing. It's a whole person.
Yeah.
Now, going into his senior year at the University of Michigan, Jonathan believes he has created new life habits that will stay with him forever.
It's just a great feeling. I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to exercise. It's not, I'm going to starve myself.
And that's really the lesson weight loss winners seem to grasp. But losing weight and keeping it off really comes down to making hundreds of very small decisions every day, every meal, every snack, every party you go to. It's about learning to enjoy life while controlling your calories. Speaking of calories, talk about shocking coming up. Get ready to be stunned by the calories in some of your favorite foods. We're doing the Centifonte swap, getting rid of the bad, replacing it with better. And technology that could give you the extra push to get off that couch. Are you ready to do the Centifonte swap? It's not a new dance, although maybe it could be after today. Meijer dietitian Tina Miller has been doing a lot of work to help us swap out some of our favorite foods, and we're saving about 1,000 calories on this table alone.
Oh, exactly, and it's just small swaps add up throughout the day. Most people underestimate their calories, how much food they eat, by about 30%.
All right. Let's start with breakfast. This muffin looks so healthy and delicious.
Oh, yeah, it's a
calories.
bran muffin at 440 calories. It has 2 tablespoons of fat, 2 tablespoons of oil in it. Better option might be breakfast biscuits, like these Belvita ones, at 230 calories.
And those are whole grain, that's the key.
They're a whole grain, exactly.
Let's talk about smoothies. Recently, research came out and said they're filled with sugar. You got to be careful what you're drinking.
Exactly. The best thing to do is actually make them at home because you know what's going into them. Something like the smoothie that's a grab and go has 220 calories per serving, but the serving is only 8 ounces.
It's not the whole bottle.
It's not the whole bottle. So this
taste your homemade
only has
smoothie.
150 calories in a 8-ounce serving. So, and again, you can flavor it any way you want.
That's good.
Yep.
All right. Pretzels, Tina. What is wrong with pretzels?
Loaded with salt. So there's about 350 milligrams sodium per 1-ounce serving, about 12 pretzels. And when we're trying to lose weight, salt makes us feel bloated and heavy. So
Plus, there's no goodness that comes from eating pretzels.
no, it's refined flour, no fiber. Here we've got Air Pop popcorn, 60 calories for about 2 cups. It's a lot of munching you can do.
All right.
Plus you get fiber.
This has got to be one of the best snacks, yogurt. But again, you have to be careful. A lot of sugar and calories in certain yogurts.
Yeah, yogurts are great. Lots of nutrients, lots of protein, but fruit on the bottom yogurt, 140 calories for 6 ounces, about 4 to 5 teaspoons of sugar. Light Greek yogurt pumps up the protein, cuts back that sugar, only 80 calories.
All right, let's talk lunch. If you want to do a wrap sandwich, the wrap you choose can make a big difference.
Oh, it can. You can cut 100 calories out of your lunch by switching to a whole grain wrap. This one in particular has 13 grams fiber per serving. That really pumps up your fiber intake. Fiber makes you feel fuller. This one is just a white flour wrap with 190 calories per serving.
All right, just a waste of calories. You think when you're buying frozen stuff, if it says gluten-free, organic, you're thinking that's got to be good for me, but you got to watch the calories again.
Yeah. It's a health message that you think is true, but this one pizza has 490 calories. Looking for something that's a little lighter, this light and lean pizza by Amy's as well has 280 calories. So you're almost cutting your calories in half there.
Big difference. Okay, when it comes to dinner, you got your fried chicken, which we know that, boy, that looks good, but you're going to cut a lot of calories and fat by going with your regular baked chicken breast.
Exactly. Frying adds so many calories. 288 calories for about 3 ounces, half a chicken breast.
So for just this little chunk.
Exactly.
Okay.
So 150 calories for about 3 ounces of meat that's baked or roasted. This is a rotisserie chicken.
Okay.
And what we serve with it, too. Mashed potatoes tend to have a lot of fat added to them. We've got 160 calories for a little half-cup serving.
Look at that little tiny portion.
Okay,
it's so
and
puny.
who eats a half cup? Okay?
Right.
And this is a small potato, 100 calories, maybe a little less.
All right.
And you can add your own sour cream, a light sour cream, or Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt, and cut those calories significantly.
We have done it. We have done the Centifonti swap. Thank you so much. You did all the work, and eventually we will turn it into a dance.
It's a fun dance.
We'll work on that. All right. Thanks, Tina.
Thank you.
Now I want you to meet another weight loss winner who is not fooled by calories. The music, the movements. Never has Michelle Pierce felt more full of life. But what got her here was fear of death.
My back and my joints and everything was hurting. I thought I kind of was doomed to a life like that.
Michelle doesn't know exactly how it happened, but one day she woke up weighing more than 330 pounds.
I was working hard. I wasn't getting as much exercise as I had been.
Like so many, Michelle's job required long hours, sitting at a desk.
How can I help you?
Food turned into a fast frenzy with little consideration given to calories.
I would go and, get a milkshake and a hamburger. I might have had lunch just an hour or two before, but dinner was another couple hours away, and so I'd do that in between a meal.
Looking back, Michelle knows after the unexpected death of her mother, she went looking for comfort and found it in food.
I remember going to the grocery store not long after she passed away, and I filled my cart with cookies and ice cream and, nothing healthy, not a vegetable, not a fruit.
The more she turns to food, the more Michelle withdraws from life. Then finally, one day, these words from her doctor hit her hard.
It's not an issue of if you're going to become a diabetic, it's when, because it's here and it's coming. And that pretty much scared me straight.
Food goes down here.
Eventually, Michelle finds her way to Beaumont Grosse Pointe bariatric surgeon Abed Hawassli, who called her a perfect candidate for a procedure called sleeve gastrectomy.
So we're removing about 75 to 80% of the stomach. It's called the sleeve because it's shaped like a sleeve, and the stomach actually is narrow, almost like a thumb, a little bit more after operation.
Removing most of the stomach also removes most of the hormone that triggers hunger.
Correct.
Patients don't feel as hungry.
Correct. And some patients tell me actually they have to remember to eat because it's time for them to eat.
It turned out to be the best decision I probably have ever made.
Michelle has surgery in September of 2011 and almost immediately starts to lose weight. But even now, every day, she continues to pay attention to every bite, knowing she will always fight her mental battle with food.
So I don't actually feel the physical hunger. I still want to eat.
So you should be careful what you keep in your fridge.
That's right. And I want to have things like the cut-up fruit that are ready to roll. These fit me at one time.
Since the day she wore these pants, Michelle is down 175 pounds. She does not let herself forget what she has overcome because she never wants to go back.
Ready? Get it.
Now 46 and in perfect health, Michelle feels like a different person.
I feel better than I did when I was in my 30s.
And the best part, her dad saw her transformation before he died.
It was just such a wonderful thing that he got to see it happen before his eyes before he left.
Weight loss surgery is nothing to take lightly. You have to consider what will your insurance cover and what type of surgery works best for your body and your lifestyle. You have to make an informed decision.
I don't have to go running. I don't have to go, doing 20-mile bicycle rides, or I just walk.
In the Battle of the Bulge, you can't forget to get moving. Coming up, see how a local doctor managed to drop more than 50 pounds in a matter of months with the help of a special gadget.
Welcome back to our special edition of Weight Loss Winners. How many steps do you think you took today? Did you know that we're supposed to be getting in at least 10,000 steps a day? It sounds like a lot, but high-tech help is here.
It seems so simple, just put one foot in front of the other. But thanks to technology like this rubber bracelet I'm wearing called the Fitbit, walking has never been more interesting or more interactive.
I've lost 55 pounds.
Since when?
Since June.
That's awesome. This is Dr. Matthew Sims just a few months ago, 55 pounds heavier. So, did he go on a radical diet? No. Join a gym? Nope.
I don't have to go running. I don't have to go, doing 20-mile bicycle rides, or I just walk.
And boy, he walks a lot. We're talking more than 10 miles a day, one step at a time. What motivates him? The Fitbit, one of the latest wearable fitness trackers on the market.
Like yesterday, I walked 32,600 steps.
Using Bluetooth technology, the bracelet syncs to the app on his phone or computer and tells him if he's on track to meet his goal. And he can see what his Fitbit friends are up to.
You can see your ups and downs. You can see it compared to other people. It shows you your burned calories. Depending on your model, it can show you stairs. It can track your sleep.
Well, it's almost like that instant gratification that you don't see it on your body instantly, but you can see it on your gadget, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Mary Ryan is the Beaumont Fitbit coordinator. It's part of a corporate wellness program at the hospital, sparking plenty of friendly walking competition.
I think what motivates people is seeing the numbers.
And even though this new generation of fitness trackers is taking pedometers to a whole new level, at the end of the day, you still have to put in the legwork. So how does a busy doctor have time to walk 25,000 steps a day? He doesn't sit still.
When I'm home, if I'm watching TV, I'm not sitting on a couch, I'm walking.
The doctor says if he's on the phone, he's up and walking around. If he has a meeting, he actually takes the long way to the meeting. Now remember, 10,000 steps, which is the equivalent of 5 miles, that's the minimum we're supposed to be getting every day. There are several brands of fitness trackers on the market. Prices range from about $60 to $150. But this might just be the motivation you need to get yourself off the couch. Coming up, one bagel. Do you know how many slices of bread it is equivalent to? We'll tell you when we play a little game of portion distortion.
Let's play a game we call Portion Distortion. Here's your turkey sandwich from 20 years ago. 320 calories. How many calories in today's version? 820. How about pasta? 20 years ago, you'd eat a cup of spaghetti with 3 meatballs. That's 500 calories. Now a restaurant would serve up 2 cups of pasta with 3 large meatballs. That's more than 1,000 calories. How about a cheeseburger? 20 years ago, it'd be about 333 calories. The cheeseburger you would get today is almost twice as many calories, 590. Our portions are bigger than ever, and so are our bodies. Here to talk about that exact fact is Darlene Zimmerman, registered dietitian with the Heart Smart program at the Henry Ford Health System. Darlene, welcome.
Thanks.
Let's talk about portions, and let's just look at some of the foods, some of our favorite foods that we're eating, and we're just eating way too much of them. Take this, it looks like a typical bagel.
But it's the equivalent of 5 slices of bread. So same calories here. I wouldn't think twice about eating that bagel. But I would not think about waiting for 5 slices of toast to be done in my toaster oven.
That would seem like way too much. Too many calories, too many carbs. So instead, what we think of now as a little mini bagel, this should be the norm.
Right. It's about a 1.5 ounce bagel. So that's 1.5 slices of bread, a much more reasonable portion size.
All right. Now, if you want salty and crunchy, and sometimes we all do, the trick is controlling the portion. And you're buying a bag and you think, all right, this is a good portion, but in fact, this is way too much.
Right. It's about a 3 ounce bag. If I take that in, 30 grams of fat, which we have there. If I can downsize to just an ounce, much less fat.
And by the way, if you're eating chips right out of the bag, you have to figure out how to measure them out because this feels like nothing.
It's so easy to overdo.
Oh my goodness.
With a snack food like that.
All right, chocolate. This is a tricky one. Once you start, sometimes it's hard to stop.
Right.
But how has our chocolate bars changed over the years?
So they've gotten a lot bigger, as everything has. Back when the Hershey bar first came out, it weighed about a half an ounce. That's about a half an ounce of chocolate. If I go up to a king size bar, much bigger portion here. If I ate this every day and I downsized to something a little more reasonable, like this one here.
Okay.
Over the course of a year, I have a potential to lose about 15 pounds, and here's 5 pounds of fat.
Wow.
So
this
3
is
of those.
5, so you could lose 3 of these just by changing the size of
That
your chocolate
one
bar.
change.
You're still enjoying the chocolate,
Right.
just a little less of it.
Right. Doesn't mean we can't eat chocolate anymore, but can I downsize the portion size?
And when you eat at home, oftentimes your portions aren't so out of control. It's
Right.
those restaurant-sized portions that
Absolutely.
are so deceiving
You're so
and
right.
so delicious.
That's right.
Darlene, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've got the tools to help you downsize your portions. Your hands. When it comes to vegetables, help yourself to 2 handfuls. Grains like rice or pasta should be the size of a fist. Having chicken for dinner, make it the size of your palm. Add a fistful of fruit. And when it comes to butter or salad dressing, keep that to the size of your thumb. We have more information and resources for you on myfoxdetroit.com, including that delicious smoothie recipe. Remember, when it comes to physically changing your body, it starts with a mental change. Whether you want to eat less, move more, feel stronger, you have to change the way you think about your health and about your body. Thank you for being with us. I'm Dina Santafanti.